opportunity to welcome Chuka Umunna, who is the MP for Streatham, Lambeth as well, and also a good friend of the Voice, good supporter of the Voice newspaper.
That's right.
Thank you. Chuka, we're just wrapping up on the Choice FM name change and what the public and the...
I think it's a bit more than a name change, isn't it?
Yeah. But if you just want to say a few words.
And thank you to The Voice for being that voice for so long. I've been reading The Voice since I was a nipper, and thank God we've got The Voice. I thought I would just say something very quickly about choice, and I know there are going to be other issues that are spoken about, just to give you my perspective and update you on how what came to pass has come to pass. I was actually just listening to Capital Extra on my way here. Look, the first thing is, I, like everybody else who grew up in this borough, I listened to Choice. I grew up with Choice because it was the only station that provided choice in terms of my own music tastes. And I think we all know that one of the reasons that, and you can have your views on this, and I'm bound to say as a Member of Parliament, I don't encourage people engaging in illegal activity, but, one of the reasons that there has been so many pirate radio stations, we all know the names of them over the years in London, is because mainstream radio, particularly before the growth of online media, simply was not playing the music that we like to listen to and our community create and trumpet and our leaders in around the world. And that's why Choice was called Choice, because it provided a choice and it provided a forum for the music that is created in this community to be promoted, to be shared with people. And that's why when I got the call from the board at Global Radio informing me of the announcement they were about to make in respect to the future of Choice, I was dismayed and very worried about what that was going to mean for the future of Choice, now Capital Extra. And what informed my angst and anxiety was what I saw happen to Kiss 100. Now, we all know what happened to Kiss FM in the late 90s when EMAP decided to take a turn in direction, and people like, fantastic broadcasters like Steve Jackson were thrown off the station, and how what was providing something unique and specialist at all hours of the day, not like at 1 in the morning, we all saw what happened to Kiss, and how frankly it just became another imitation of Capital Radio, in my view, during the day certainly. And I think the concern was, and I expressed this to Global Radio, that the danger was with what they were going to do, and have now done, was that Choice FM, now Capital Extra, would simply go the way of Kiss 100, thereby reducing choice and reducing the platform that there is for the very different, rich diversity of music that comes out of the black community in our country. And so, now Global Radio explained to me the commercial rationale for them making their decision, and I was told that the reason that they had decided to make the decision that they had made was because Choice was loss-making, and because of the way that it was currently branded at the time, they were not able to get the ad revenue that they would have wanted. And so for them, using the Capital brand to make it more of an attractive commercial proposition to advertisers, in addition to putting the £1 million that they put into it, they thought was the best way of enabling them to continue with it as an ongoing concern. Now, they didn't need to explain this to me. This was information provided to me in good faith, and I'm just sharing it with you. So I think in terms of the future, the important thing is that Capital Extra, formerly Choice, does not lose its distinctive identity, and that it doesn't just become a pale imitation of many of the other radio outlets we already have, because otherwise, well, what's the point? It still, ultimately, whatever it's called, must provide choice. And I think that, for me, is the absolute priority. I mean, look, there is no point, the authorities and others complaining about the proliferation of pirate radio, etc., if you do not ensure that the lawful forms of communicating do not provide a choice. And I think that's really important for me. But just to finish off on this point, and then I'll shut up. I do actually think in this, we have also got to remember the progress that has been made, and actually the changing nature of media today, actually, George. because you know there are a lot of us who are a bit older in this room, there are people here who are older than me, who you know are quite emotional about choice and think about it. You know, we grew up with choice, right? But the younger generation, they are communicating in completely different ways through social media. They're running their own radio stations online. And so for them, they're not going to feel quite the same way. And in some senses, that is a bit of progress because it shows just the extent to which the younger generation are using those other platforms to promote their own talents in music. So I think it's important, you know, we keep an eye on more conventional, analog forms of media, but also let's celebrate the progress that our young people in particular are making in a positive way. I mean, people so often talk about the negatives, but in a positive way, using all those other different platforms too. And, you know, we can all point to new artists coming on through who have made their name online, have made their name through promotion through Twitter and all these other platforms. So let's not forget that, let's celebrate that. And, you know, I talk about young generations more broadly too. I mean, I look, you know, everybody I think here probably knows I'm part Nigerian and proud of it. And, you know, I just look at, you know, the Niger media, so much of that is online, really. That's where all the action is. Much, no disrespect to you, George, but much more so than in print. So let's celebrate that too.